Some of you who are subscribed to my channel know that I have released a few videos where I talk about dating bar girls, dating bar girls, and what kind of nonsense that actually is, and that there is no such a thing like dating bar girls. But today in this video I want to share with you my story, how I actually dated a Filipina bar girl and also had a relationship with her, or should I say freelancer, but I will let you know in this video. Many years ago I met her in Hong Kong. It was in 2007 already. I was in a bar, actually a famous place which was known for freelancers and stuff, and I talked to my buddy at the time. He was the bouncer of the club. I shared the story in other videos how he actually worked, but and I told him, his name was June, can you get me a girl? I want to have some fun. And then I waited half an hour, and then two girls popped up. And one of them was Karen. I call her Karen. And this is how we basically met. Eventually we were together for about 4 years. So we met in 2007, at the end of 2007, and then we broke up in 2011. So this relationship lasted for 4 years. So how was it to have a relationship with a freelancer / bar girl? This is what I want to talk about in this video. But in case you don't want to end up with a freelancer or with a bar girl, then I have some other good news for you, which just came to my mind. If you really don't want to get involved with bar girls, then you, for example, can try Christian Filipina, which is a dating service I recommend. This is a place where you can find the good Filipinas. Christian Filipina is an award-winning dating service. They are in place already since 2009. What I like with them is that they are friendly, conservative, and trustworthy. It's very easy there to meet friends and to get to know them. It's, what I know, the #1 most trusted dating service for Christian singles, who are interested in faith-based relationships. And this is the site I recommend, because other dating services in the Philippines, especially the ones who are free, they are full of scammers and stuff. So you will find the link in the description if you're interested. If you want to check out that site, get more information, click the link in the description. But back to my bar girl, my freelance girl at the time. Karen was her name. She was a single mom, and she was about my age, maybe a year younger. At the time I was 30, and she was from Laguna, which is a province in the Philippines, in Luzon, near Manila. And I don't even know what kind of job she had at the time, but she came to Hong Kong. When we met in Hong Kong, when she was introduced to me through my buddy there, the bouncer who worked in the Bridge. If you want to know which club it was, the famous, infamous, legendary The Bridge, a place which was very famous for the leftover guys, for the after-hour guys, because the Bridge opened, I think, only 7 a.m. in the morning when the other clubs closed down. So Karen also arrived in Hong Kong just, I think, a few days before we got to know each other. And I don't really knew her motivations why she came to Hong Kong, but probably to earn money, right? She was a single mom, as I mentioned, and she probably had no real job. I don't really even know how the system was at the time in Hong Kong. These girls knew pretty well what they were doing in Hong Kong. Yeah? I'm very sure about that. But how it all worked, how the connections were, and who introduced them to customers and stuff, I don't know. I remember my buddy June, the bouncer. I told a story in another video. He had a very large keyring. At the time, there were no smartphones or stuff like that. No, not even Facebook, if I remember correctly. So on this large keyring, he had a lot of business cards, probably hundreds of business cards. This keyring was full of business cards. On these business cards were telephone numbers written of these girls, you know. You can imagine how many freelance girls there were around in Hong Kong at the time, in Wan Chai, in the red light district. So anyway, I don't know how the system worked, but Karen got introduced to me. So actually, she was not really a typical bar girl, you know, like the ones, you know, from Thailand or other places in the Philippines, the bar girls who work in a bar and get commission on drinks and also dancing and perform dance shows and stuff like that. No, but I met her in a bar and she was at least a freelancer. So, and later on she worked in a bar again. So this is how we got to know. A short while after I had to leave Hong Kong, my contract expired, and she came to my place a few times. I remember maybe 2 or 3 times. She stayed overnight, so I was her customer basically, but she wanted to stay in touch with me. I remember she knew I had to leave. She knew I was heading for Malaysia at the time, new job, new hotel, and we exchanged, I gave her my address, I remember. And somehow, a few months later, I was already in Malaysia. One of my buddies who still lived in Hong Kong informed me, "Hey Marcel, you got a letter here from a Karen." You know, and I was like thinking, who Karen? Who? Ah, Karen, okay. And then she's a postcard or something, letter or postcard. And then he told me, my buddy in Hong Kong told me that, she just wanted to say hi, wanted to connect with me again, and she left her phone number. So, and my buddy gave me her phone number, so that was the way I could contact her, you know. Long story short, we came into touch again. I invited her over to Malaysia. She visited me, you know, and that was actually then the time when we started to become a couple. Yeah. And she stayed maybe for 2 weeks, and then she went back to the Philippines, but I didn't really know at the time what she was up to, you know, what she was doing, what her job was. Was she working in another bar in the Philippines? I didn't know. And honestly, I really didn't care at the time, because I was only after fun. I wanted to have a girlfriend, you know. I was interested in sex and stuff like that. I didn't take the whole thing seriously anyway at the time. But later, about a year later, she started to take up a job in Singapore in one of these bars in the bar district there. And she became a bar girl. She worked there and also entertained customers and got commission on drinks. But she told me the girls who work there are not allowed to go home with clients or customers. That is what she told me. I don't know whether this is true or not. I think it was true, because this place was run pretty professionally. I've been there many times. I will not give the name. I might do another dating in Singapore video where I will introduce this venue to you. It is a very famous venue, and I've been there many times. As I say, many Filipinas work there, but as far as I know, and I believe that they were not allowed to go home straight from the bar, But who knows what happened afterwards, right? Or on her off day. I didn't know that at the time. It didn't bother me also, because again, I didn't take this whole thing really serious, you know. It was just, for me, convenient to have a girlfriend. That was it, you know. And but you can say she was a bar girl, because she worked in a bar and at least she got commission on drinks. And she did this for many years, yeah. At least for 4 or 5 years she worked in the same place in Singapore. But from time to time I would visit her in Singapore, and she would visit me in Malaysia, first in Malaysia because I was still working there, because from time to time she had to exit Singapore, you know, for visa reasons and stuff. And we traveled to Boracay in the Philippines, for example. We also went to her home province, Laguna. And later, when I changed employment again, when I moved to Vietnam, she also visited me there. Of course, I invited her, I paid the ticket and everything. And then later, when I moved back to Malaysia, she also visited me there. So you could also, it was a long distance relationship, yes. This is how it went. It was just like that. You could almost say like a normal relationship, right? We called each other, we visited each other as often as we could. And yes, I also lent her money. I remember $500 because she asked for it. I didn't throw cash at her, but she asked me, I remember, whether she can borrow $500. She needed it for something. So of course, she was my girlfriend at the time, and I gave her the money. And by the way, she never asked me for any money before. Yeah. Yes, I paid for the trips. For example, if I visited her in Singapore, I paid for my trip, of course. If she came to my place, I remember I bought the flight tickets for her. That was okay for me because I was her boyfriend. So, and it was not just a fling, right? But yeah, I never saw the money back, by the way. So there you go. Spoiler alert. But in 2011, we broke up. Apparently, she had a new boyfriend. I don't know. And yeah. That's it. That was the last time I saw her. That was in 2011. But many, many years later, not many, many years, but maybe 8 years later, through a very funny coincidence, we got in touch with each other again, and we texted a little bit back and forth. She now is in Qatar, already working there for many, many years also. So at least she's not working in a bars. That's good. Because she has a daughter, but now this daughter is already grown up. She's now 20 or 21 years old. So, but she's still in Qatar. She works there, and seems to be okay. And it's good to hear that she has a normal and stable job, you know. And while we were chatting, we chatted twice, I remember, and of course we exchanged some funny stories and sent some old pictures back and forth, you know. But we are not in touch now. But I remember she told me that at the time when we were together, that she tried to get pregnant from me. She admitted that, and but nothing happened. So she never got pregnant. I remember that very clearly. But I didn't know that she was provoking it. Maybe she was, because that is my next question. Was she a serious girl? How serious was she really? Who was she? I didn't really know at the time, because I was not so much interested in also, right? I told you what I was up to. But probably she was more serious than I thought. If she wanted to get pregnant, but you know, this is also the thing, you know, then girls, they want to get pregnant so they can like kind of blackmail you also a little bit, right? So you see, I'm pregnant now from you, you have to take care of me now. Hard to tell what her real motivations were. Maybe she saw in me her future husband. I don't know. We never talked about it. So we never made future plans. We never talked about our future, marriage, kids, this and that, nothing. Yeah. So, but to conclude this video, overall, I must say, it was still a good experience. I don't want to miss it. That was my relationship with the bar girl, even though I maybe missed a lot of things while we were together. Maybe she was taking other customers, maybe she slept with other men. I really don't know, and I also was not interested to know at the time. It never really actually came to my mind also. I was not even jealous. There you can see that I was not really into her actually, right? But bottom line, looking back, it was still, we had good times, we had great times, we traveled, you know. She was a good girl, and but that was rather a very harmless experience of dating and being in a relationship with a bar girl, right? My experience here sounds totally different to these stories I tell in other videos, right? And I still strongly advise against dating bar girls for these reasons I mentioned in other videos. And maybe, who knows, when she broke up later, after 4 years, because she had a new boyfriend, who knows, maybe this new boyfriend was a customer. I have no idea. And it also doesn't make sense to think about it today and to try to figure it out. It is just past. I just wanted to share the story here. My story was actually good, you know. I didn't lose anything except the $500, and because it really felt like a real relationship, but at the end of the day it didn't work out. I was okay with that as well, and there are way worse stories out there from guys who think they are dating bar girls, or they think this is the solution. Yeah. Again, still, I strongly advise against dating bar girls or fantasizing about being in a relationship with them, because there are so many bad stories out there, and maybe I was just the exception here. And if you want to avoid to get in touch with these women, yeah, don't enter bars. You know, if you want to avoid these freelancers or bar girls, then you can also go on Christian Filipina, you know, the dating service I mentioned earlier, and check out what they have to offer. There you will certainly and for sure find a lot of good girls. So the link is in the description, check it out. And I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye, and let me know what you think. Looking forward to your comments. That's it for today.